Welcome. In this video, we'll see how to use Orchestra NG Mobility configuration panel. Open a browser and go to your PBX URL. Log in with your credentials. Click on Mobility and then on Configure. The Mobility panel is very similar to the Dial Plan panel. It's your own dial plan, responsible for the routing of all the calls to your numbers. On the top of it, there's a toolbar. From the menus, you can add routing elements that we'll cover in detail in a moment. By clicking on the trash, you'll delete all the selected elements. By clicking on the floppy disk, you'll save and apply your mobility configuration. To reset your configuration to the default, click on the wheels. From here, you can adjust the zoom. With check response, you can perform different actions based on presence status, if you're busy, or you hang up the call, if you're away, or if your telephone is not reachable. With check contact, you can check if an incoming call is from a given contact in your phone book. Double-click on the element to select the contact you want to check. With check calendar, you can perform different actions based on a calendar rule. Double-click on the element to select the rule. With this element, you can check if the incoming call is coming from a number external to your company. For example, if a colleague calls you from its internal number, the call will be redirected to the cross. If someone calls you from his mobile phone, the call will be redirected to the check mark. You can also perform different actions if the incoming call is from a queue or not. With the voicemail element, you can redirect the incoming call to your voicemail. Use hang up element to hang up automatically the incoming call. The Call Me element calls all the extensions associated to your user. You can connect a check response element after it to perform further operations. The Hunt Me element lets you define a list of telephone numbers to be called, either simultaneously or sequentially. Double-click on the element to edit the list of the numbers. For example, with this element, you can redirect a call made to one of your internal extensions to your mobile phone. With the Dial User element, you can redirect the incoming call to a specific user. Double-click on the element to select it. Now that we have covered all the routing elements in detail, let's analyze what the default mobility configuration does. The entry point routes all the incoming calls based on your user presence. The user presence includes both telephony and instant messaging presence status. So, in this configuration, if your presence status is either busy, away, or not available, the incoming call will be redirected to the voicemail. When your status is available and the call is from a queue, your internal phones will ring. Note that nothing is connected to the right of the Call Me element. This has been done to allow other members of the queue to answer the call. If the call is not from a queue, your phones will ring, but if your presence is either busy, away, or not available, the call will be redirected to the voicemail. Now, let's build our first mobility configuration graph. First of all, we are going to delete all the elements except the entry point. Then, when the status is away, we want to call the user's soft phone. To connect an element to another one, click on the dot, and without releasing the mouse button, drag it on the dot with which you want to connect. Then, release the mouse button, and the link will be made. When the presence status is available, we want all our extensions to ring. When the presence status is not available, we want to redirect the call to the voicemail. Finally, when the status is busy, we don't want to be bothered, so we'll hang up the call directly. Our first custom mobility configuration is complete. Let's save and apply the changes. Check our official website and try for free what you have just seen. Thank you for watching.